Hello and welcome to Network Now. Welcome everybody for joining us this afternoon. A podcast designed to help you build business connections and create opportunities. My name's Lee Foster. I'm the host of this podcast this afternoon, and I'm also the owner of Revitalize Connecting People. And with me today are my co-host as well, Julie Taylor and Louisa Stewart of Blue Ninja Business Support. Julie, can I hand it over to you for the controls to introduce our wonderful special guest this afternoon?
You can indeed. So today we'd like to welcome our very special guest, Silja Thor. Have I said that right, Silja?
Yeah, you did.
Silja, that's wonderful. Okay, wonderful. So Silja is an Icelandic serial entrepreneur. She has started 9 businesses while living in 9 countries. She decided to become a business mentor when she became a mother to her daughter, India, and realized she needed a better work-life balance. Silja made the tough decision to step down as CEO and give away her shares in the company before setting up as a business mentor. She now helps others to find a better balance between career and personal life so they don't feel the same way she did. Silja works with overwhelmed entrepreneurs, helping them step off the hamster wheel and achieve success without sacrificing their personal lives. Welcome, Silja. Thanks for coming today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Okay. So we're going to kick off. Silja, do you want to tell us where your networking journey started?
Yeah, it's a great question. So probably it's over 20 years ago. I shouldn't really say that, but it's a very long time ago. But that journey where I started to like it, actually love it, is only a few years ago. So I attended business breakfast here in Netherlands where I live. It was a very intimate, kind of different networking setting. And it was just as I was transitioning, becoming a business mentor. And then for the first time, I kind of understood the power of networking. And I really started falling in love with it. Because before that, I was afraid of it. I really just dreaded it, which I think a lot of people do. So that was like the starting point where I actually started to network for real.
So why did you dread it? Why was it?
Yeah. It was. I'm very introverted, which people don't often know. But yeah. So I'm really introverted. So real life networking, which was quite common at least before COVID, it just has a lot of people, and what I found was just a lot of awkward conversation. So for me, it was really hard to have the small talk. Like I want to go deep and kind of go in and go in to start the chat. I just found that painfully awkward and painfully difficult. Right. And it took a very long time for me to overcome that. And now I love it. Yeah. It was just like a mindset shift, which that business breakfast really did, because they kind of forced us to do it in a very intimate setting when we were having breakfast too. And it gave us some prompts. So then I suddenly noticed how amazing it can actually be.
So, if you mind me asking, when was the sort of the challenge for you? What was the tipping point in regards to when network really started to work for you? Was that very recently, or was that over a certain length of time?
It probably always has worked a bit, because like that has been a cornerstone probably of me building my businesses. It is through networking, right? It's through these connections and building relationships. But when I started doing that very actively, it was when it became easy, when I shifted my focus, instead of what are people thinking of me, or this is awkward, but rather kind of go around it. It's like, how can I add value, and how can I just have fun? How can I build that connections today? And when I started going with that in mind and took myself out of it, like it's nothing to do with you, Silja, but you're here to connect and have great conversation and add value. Whatever that value kind of looks like. And that was kind of a pivotal point in my networking, and honestly in my business too.
Thank you.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can't get over you starting 9 businesses in 9 different countries. I mean,
not in 9 different countries.
Oh,
I lived in my country. No. I have like every country. I'm a bit crazy, but not that crazy. No.
But did you have to find networks in each country? Like every time you start again, you had to find a new network to build up.
Yeah, because also my businesses have been in a very different spaces as well, like, technology impact, now do a mentorship. So yeah, I had to like almost every single time start from scratch. But in a few of my businesses, I had a business partner, and I kind of, sorry, my cat is here, where I kind of bent back on their network as well. Somebody more local, which was the case when in Scotland and in the UK, and first when I started the business here in Netherlands.
That's incredible. And so how did you find the network? Were you just going out meeting people? Did you find that you took online networking like a duck to water? Where did you shine?
Yeah. So online world works with me amazingly. So, in the later businesses, online has been a lot more prominent in the beginning because I started very long time ago. My first business, we didn't have a dial-up internet, but almost, right? So there wasn't a lot of online networking. So how I find it has usually just been like, through one connection, and then, I ask, and like, and opportunities kind of have come along. Like I've been invited to different networks, but sometimes I actively look for it. Like nowadays with, Facebook events, Eventbrite, LinkedIn, it's easy to find, right?
Yeah.
You know specifically what you want to look for, what kind of networking you want to have.
And
I think
that's
it's interesting when you look. Sorry, when you look at what you're doing at the moment, you've got multiple businesses. One of the questions that we've got ourselves is, really, how do you find, or do you know your audience that you want to present to?
Yeah.
Do you have different audiences with different businesses that you had through your networks?
Yeah. No, every single business had a different audience. So currently I only have one business, but every single business is a different audience. And I kind of always ask myself when I have started the business, where is that pain point, or who really needs that service or product, or who desires there, and I kind of go from there with the focal point, right? So right now it is I'm mainly focusing on online entrepreneurs who really want to kind of like make their magic wildly profitable and have like this beautiful space in their life. So be lavishly paid to be in who they love to be. So like do a lot less and be more. And now it's been quite easy. This is the first time I focus on entrepreneurs as such. It's quite easy because I basically tailor it to my own like desires and needs. It's exactly something I craved. So now my focal point is like, who else needed that? Like who is like me who really needs that? And like so now I can kind of go where I would go, right? In this case. Yeah.
And are your tribes, like the tribe that's following you now, part of that network? Is that online and offline? Is that local to you, or has your tribe more expanded?
Worldwide. So I have clients, like current, quite recent clients as well, from over 30 countries, living in 30 different countries. So it's a worldwide audience. So that is the beauty online. So now I strictly work online as well. So the tribe, mainly that has been just through social media, LinkedIn and Facebook, where people got to know me.
Yeah. And that's how we connected, isn't it, Silja?
Yeah,
Through your wonderful Facebook group. And people, I'd met somebody who'd been talking about you, that you were coaching them, and attended one of your workshops, and you really thought-provoking, really talking about do you love your clients, and if not, that are they the right clients for you, and just things like how do you want to be remembered? If it was your obituary, which is a bit sort of deep and serious, but it's so reflective, and thinking, we spend so much time at work, you may as well enjoy it. And, it's about projecting how you want to be in the world as well. So very thought-provoking.
Right? Like having that purpose behind it.
Yeah.
It's like you said, you're spending most of your time there. A lot of.
And I guess from that question, Silja, how do you know that you've got the right audience? How do you test and measure your network? And possibly previously, did you have a network that just didn't work for you? Did you have to change and shift your planning?
I have had to pivot quite a few times in quite a few businesses. So definitely. So let me tell you the short answer, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit more kind of strategic specifically about it. So the short answer, if things just are easy and flow, you are with the right audience. There is no uphill struggles. It's just like getting new clients or audience. It's just flowing. Then you are with the right audience. But that isn't always quite easy to get there. So previously, it's like, it's always asking, like, what are you offering? Who really needs that? Who has that pain point, problem, and desire, with the product, and kind of going from there. And then often, like, what I always recommend to my clients, if they're earlier on in it and they haven't really, found that like sweet spot of that, product market fit, so to speak, is do a validation. Like, validate it before you full-blown launch and continue. So if things aren't flowing, you're probably not with the right audience, or you're not offering the right offer to the right audience, either way. So it's probably one or another. So validate that. Do a validation to make sure that your audience, whoever, particularly with your business, if they desire what you're offering, I mean, is that actually something they want? Not what you think they need, but is that something they actually want? So that is essentially, if people are actively buying from you at easy, then you have got to your right, client audience, and when you feel like, it's easy for you to attract. If it's not, something is off.
Yeah. And we've actually gone through that as well, because we were coached through an online, creating an online course, and we had a lot of people turn up, lots of people interested, but they want the free stuff. So it's such a challenge, because there's the audience there, but it's also tipping them from free into paid.
So, exactly. And that is all to do with like internal urgencies with your potential clients, and it kind of really understanding your client. Like, the more into depth you know about your audience, the sweeter the journey is going to be, right? So it's really getting specific about it, because often it's just a little bit of tweak. Maybe you are, it's like, maybe you are like, often is to do either with your messaging, maybe you're just not messaging it correctly, maybe your offering is like you are tailoring something that they really need, but they haven't been in awareness they need it. They're not accepting that yet. They're just not, they are not there yet, right? So I always recommend to give your clients what they want, and then you give them also what they need. But you focus on what they already want and what they're already aware of, they desire, or,
And what would be your key advice to those that are just starting out on their networking journey?
Ask themselves, like you said, you came to a workshop, it was a deep about the why. Probably go into a little bit, ask themselves why they want to do it, like, why do you want to do the network? What is the purpose in it? Like, what is the purpose for you? Like, what do you want out of your networking, or what do you want to give in it? So, you need to, like, so you basically not just going blindly, just like, you have some sort of purpose or strategy behind it.
Sounds good.
Yes, I mean, is it to build, your network as such? Is it to get more clients? Is it build connections, referral partners, open opportunities? But like, what do you want out of it, and what kind of value can you add when you are starting to network?
Can I ask a quick question as well? Just another one to throw in there with sort of like the planning how much planning did you put into place with regards to your networking, Silja, in regards of, is it a few weeks in advance? Do you plan well ahead in advance, not just for the networking, but also the audience you want to speak to?
It really depends, to be honest. I tend not to plan too much. This is just who I am a little bit. I work best when it's a little bit like last minute spontaneous. I kind of follow, like, what I'm excited about. But definitely, I would say I still make some preparations, right? So it really depends what the networking part of it is, Yeah.
Thank you.
I think it also speaks to your goals, doesn't it? It's like, we've both built different networks and, with different aims, but we know that it takes time to grow and build the relationships and sort of, and have people understand what your perspective is, you know, why that network is what it is. And, you know, it's very personal, isn't it?
Yeah. And the key is also to nurture your network, you know, be this force of goodwill in your network, you know, constantly send opportunities, some resources, you know, have them on top of mind, right? But you nailed it. I think the key is relationship building, right? To really foster those relationships. And it was something I posted on Facebook today, and it was just like a good reminder. Like I just, you know, came from a launch, and, you know, what I noticed with myself, if I get too focused on the goal or the outcome, I stop having fun. And then nothing really works. So the key for me in the networking or whatever I do is just enjoying it. You know, like obviously we have some sort of goal, but when we fix too much of it or we are too tied to the outcome, for me, nothing really good happens. So the more detached I am from the outcome and I focus more of the joy of the experience of it, of adding value and just, you know, having loads of fun, the results always follow, right? And that is like relationships or anything you do. But if you're too focused on the outcome of the network or outcome of whatever that is, you're forcing it too much. Or at least I do.
I still like a bit of structure, though.
Yeah.
I think Lee.
Sorry, go on.
I was going to say you had, and on one of the Revitalize sessions, we had the Laughing Man, and it was hilarious. It forced us to laugh, but by the end of it, we couldn't stop, could we? You know, and it was such a different way to think of networking too. And that's he wants to have 1 million people laugh with him, and that's his strategy and how he builds his network. I love that philosophy of had fun with it, because, you know, sometimes it can be nerve-wracking and serious and you get anxious from it.
Yeah, I love it. So you are like raised in that energetic vibration, people like bonding through a laugh.
Yeah. I think it's so interesting that you've got to find that balance right. And it's like what Louisa was saying, when we had that sort of laugh attack as such from the speaker at the time, just everyone just went into giggles and streaming tears down their faces and just laughing their heads off. It became more of an opening to see people's real personalities. You know, I think networking itself, you've got to really delve in to get to know somebody really well. And that's where a lot of people make it too. You've got to have a little bit of structure, a little bit of planning in there, but you've also got to have fun with it and just enjoy it, because you're just making friends with people regularly. That's all you're doing.
Yeah, you need to have the purpose. You need to have, like, it's a bit like if you're taking a taxi or whatever, you need to know where you're going, and then you got to enjoy the journey, right?
Very true. Very true. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. Do you have mentors or people that you look up to, Silja, and think, oh, they're really good networkers?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I would never have a business without a mentor. I don't believe we can self-coach. I think we all have blind spots. So I definitely have mine. So yeah, there are quite a few. So networking, my own mentor, her name is Meryl Creeksman. She's an amazing networker. She's very, very good at that. So it's been really delightful to see how she does it. Now, I just have here also Gabrielle Bernstein. I've been following her recently as well. I think she's doing a great job in it. Yeah, I think, you know, most people who are quite blissfully successful in a very easeful way, the key is being a good networker, being a good connector and a relationship builder.
Agree, totally agree. Have we got any other points today? Otherwise, I'd love Silja to share what your latest promotion is just now. What have you got that you going on this week?
Yeah, so it's going to be like, you know, for a longer term, I guess. So we just had a challenge, like a live challenge, and we turned it into like more of evergreen, like a freebie. So it's like it is for you to help you simplify and scale your business. So starting to earn a lot more in your business while doing less. So really kind of tapping back into like, you know, loving your business, like loving how you offer your business and allowing yourself to earn a lot more in your business by working so much more smart instead of hard. So it's like a 3-day or three video series. You can watch it 3 days, but you can also just watch it as you want. Which you get instant access to, and a workbook which kind of guides you through these 3 steps of how you can simplify and scale your business up. So make it so much more easier. So the first video is all about how to up level your offering, so your offering actually makes sense. The second video is about the mindset piece, because when you are scaling your business or when you're allowing yourself to earn a lot more, it is a lot to do with mindset. So that is like we tackle that. And the third day, and that's something you guys specialize in, Julie and Louisa, and that is how to optimize your business, how to have systems to back up your brilliance. Right? And then there's a workbook to kind of take you through each of the steps as well. So yeah, you can grab that. It's there's a challenge page, it's siljathor.com, and you can pop that in, and then a simplify and scale challenge, and then you can get access to all of that. Yeah,
great. We'll share that link on the streams as well. That's wonderful. Sounds amazing.
Yeah. And definitely join my group. I have a group, which I know you guys are in, and you're also active in my mastermind. But I have a group on Facebook, which we do a lot of, like, we're simplifying and scaling the business. And we are normalizing that you can actually have a very spacious agenda and, have a very successful business. Right? You don't have to work hard to scale.
Yeah.
I love a lot of your posts, Silja. With India, you're very free. It's like Lee and his golf posts. It's lovely to see a different perspective too. I mean, Lee, you could probably speak to your networking on the golf course.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people laugh when you combine golf and business. To go, really? Honestly, you're doing business on the golf course. But I truly do. I mean, the people that I've met a fair few people on the golf course, and had conversations off the back of that as well. It just really, it's like when you say it has a different element of networking, where it brings it down slightly. It gives you a different way of conversation with one another as well. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, back in the old days, but we always said most of the business deals were not closed in the boardroom, but on the golf course or in the sauna, right?
Yeah. And it's I think it's usually those areas where you're having those conversations, and I think it's such. My father did it a lot, actually. He did a lot in his early days when he ran pubs for a living. He did a lot of business on the golf course, but he enjoyed golf. He had a middle ground for people to speak to him about, and it works really well. But
I think one of the key reasons why, well, at least why I do business with anybody, is not always about their solution or the product. Particularly when you are working in the service industry, like when you're buying from people, whether that's coaches or service entrepreneur, it's more about the person. Like, and that is like the golf course. You're building the relationship, you're connecting, and I think that is the key why we buy from people. Obviously they need to be good at what they do or deliver well. But the key reason is that personal connection.
Yeah, I think that's very true.
What would you tell yourself maybe 10 years ago, Silja, about networking? What piece of advice would you give yourself?
Calm the fuck down and enjoy it. Honestly, I was stressing out. I really, and it was two things. First of all, like, I hated it with passion. I did it because I had to, but I did it as an obligation. And then it was all about business, right? And my advice was just calm the fuck down and just enjoy it. Stop thinking of it like, I have to do this. I stress myself about it.
I'm absorbing that information.
And the same with business. Like, all my businesses until now, I used to work 18 hours a day. Like when I was in Edinburgh, I was there for 2 years with my first business. I was in Edinburgh for 2 years. I didn't have a single friend. I realized that when I moved away, because I was in the office at 6 o'clock and I was at home around midnight.
Yeah, there's a castle in Edinburgh. You saw the castle, right?
I lived close to the castle. I saw it. Yeah, it's a beautiful city. When I was there.
I'm going to say you've got some Edinburgh friends now, because Louisa and I are talking about taking a group from the Netherlands to Edinburgh for the festival. So if that comes off, it'd be amazing. And we can show you the sites, Silja, of all the things that you heard about was there, but you never quite saw.
Wow. That is one thing I've always wanted to do, because I never went to the festival. That's one of my regrets, so to speak.
Yeah. But I think networking as well, if you take initiatives like that, see where it goes, because you never know who's up for something like that. Who's interested in trying something different and new. I know Julie always tries to promote, if you're not sure about going somewhere, ask someone if they'll go with you, and build that confidence of being out there, and as you say, just have fun with it. Which
you never know what opportunities knock. You might meet a client, you might get opportunity, like get a visibility opportunity. You might get potential partner in something, or you just might make a friend or acquaintance, or just have fun, right?
What's the thing you mentioned there as well? It's what's the cost or what's the value to you for not going to something, not meeting somebody? It just takes that one introduction that makes the biggest difference. People actually want to speak to loads of people, but it just takes one opportunity, one chance to be visible.
So it's a number game, isn't it?
It is.
Got
to be involved. Got to be involved with it. Got to be visible.
But then at the same time as well, like what I noticed, and I'm just going to put this as well, particularly now in the online world, I notice a lot of people also having constantly coffee chats. And while I think it's also very good, you can also get overly consumed in it. Yeah. So that's another thing as well. It's like it is also beauty of saying no sometimes.
No, it's a great point. So I think that just about wraps it up for today's session. Thank you so much, Silja. Thank you very much for joining us on Network Now.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. We look forward to speaking to Ashley tomorrow. Ashley is a trainer, coach, speaker, and author, and she's popularized how to network with intent. So we look forward to tomorrow's session, which will start half an hour later at 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Make sure you're following us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and subscribe to YouTube and Anchor FM on the Revitalize and Blue Ninja social media channels.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Louisa. Thank you, Julie. And once again, thank you very much, Silja, for this afternoon. And we shall see everybody tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. Thanks again. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye for now.
Thanks. Bye.